Hello, and welcome to yet another episode of Macroeconomics. Today, as you can see, we have a very special guest on the podcast, Mr. Gilbert Kachamba. Welcome to Macroeconomics podcast.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I want to appreciate your time. I know you're a very busy person. We've been trying to get a hold of you, and I really want to appreciate you took your time and decided to grace this occasion. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Without further ado, Mad Economist, I want to say today, the Chatham rules apply. Yes, we are free to speak as individuals, as idealists, and to share you our ideas about economic growth. So today's topic is about scalability. We want to understand from our renowned economist, how can we grow an idea? Perhaps you can take it from there.
Thank you very much. First of all, let me thank you for having me today, and also for bringing in this topic of scalability. One of the components that this nation is missing is about scalability of ideas, even scalability of businesses.
Exactly.
Yeah, we preach about economic growth.
Yes.
We try to make the economic grow
Yes.
with different policies, different measures, but you see that things are not working as we anticipate them to do.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a big challenge that we are not getting where we want to be, even though we have the necessary tools, the necessary vehicles that will take us there, but as a nation, we are not moving forward.
I think
There are a lot of things that are crippling us to move forward.
Thank you very much for bringing in a very beautiful perspective to say we have all the economic drivers, but we are failing. Perhaps we can draw a little lesson from you. For as long as you've been a macroeconomist, perhaps you can tell us the things you've done and perhaps the ideas you've helped bring into growth.
Thank you very much. One thing that I can recall is most of the times I can say that Malawians are hardworking people, but we work hard on the wrong things. We try to divert from the things that matter, and we focus on things that are not helping us. I can talk of agriculture. We have been clinging to say that our economy is an agro-based economy, but I remember some time back I did a study whereby we are looking at issues to do with, like for example, farm input subsidy. Yeah, you see that even the government is focusing a lot of resources into farm input subsidy. But if you are to look at the output, you see that the output is miserable. It's not matching what we have put as our input, right? So we are focusing on things that are not helping us a lot. We are just a consuming economy. If people are doing businesses, they are just merchants. No manufacturing. As a nation, we can't move forward.
Perhaps you can help us with a clarification. When you say people are just merchants, can we understand it?
Okay, if you are to look at the nature of our business in Malawi, you see that most of the products that are being sold on the market, there are just some people who are going outside Malawi, bringing them into Malawi, and they sell them. And we call them business people. We call them investors, right? But it's time that we need to start thinking of who is the real investor in this country, right? People have business ideas, some have no capital. We need to bring these people together. You have this business, you have this business idea, there is a source of capital here. How can you grow this idea to become something that is tangible, right? Almost everything that we use in this country, we are importing. Not that we don't have people, we don't have labor here, we have labor, right? But what happens is we just import, and in return exporting labor, and we are expecting the economy to grow. I think we are missing something there.
It brings me to a very important point. I have been regurgitating over the years, trying to get myself into understanding this perspective of maybe the economy itself. And perhaps I've gotten to realize that wealthy nations, they have benefited from the fact that they had an opportunity of free labor. Say, for example, the slave trade that had happened, they had benefited from that. People were willing to give themselves to such manufacturing, or maybe whatever labor was happening in that particular era. Why is it that today the compensation is there, but individuals are failing to build, say, infrastructure different from those eras then?
Yeah, just to come on that issue, we are talking of labor, free labor during the slave trade era. But there are also some other economies that have grown without using free labor. There are some economies that were below us in terms of economic strength. Some were at par. For example, I can mention China. 45 years ago, we were at par with China. Countries like Singapore, they were below us. But you can see that them, without even using the free labor, they have managed to develop. We are even begging from them, even though we were at par or we are better off than them.
What are we missing?
A lot. One, politics. There's too much political intervention. Right? Politicians have one goal in them: to win the next election. Right? So, as a nation, we have grown much into politics, such that when we have a government like today, we start talking about the next elections, even though we have some period to govern, some period to deliver. So what we have is political appeasement. It's what is derailing us, and it's making a lot of people to fold hands. Right? We have seen since we embraced democracy. It's now 30 years. The culture of handouts, it's almost everywhere. People have stopped thinking. People have stopped working hard. People are just waiting for somebody to come and give them something for free. Now, to come back to your question, that what is it that we are missing? I said one is politics.
Yes.
Right? Two, the low productivity. Like I said earlier on, that this nation, we are focusing on things that are not productive. We say that we are an agro-based economy, right? But you see that real economies that have invested in agriculture, they are no longer using horse, right? If you go to Malawians who are cultivating different crops, they're using very primitive ways that are less productive. So these are the things that are not helping us to develop. We are stuck in the old way of doing things. By now, I was hoping that we'll be seeing a lot of irrigation schemes. We'll be seeing combined harvesters. We'll be seeing tractors tilling our lands, right? We'll be growing maize twice a year. We'll stop begging for food.
Perhaps maybe could that be the concept of the mega farms? Isn't the mega farms doing that initiative?
Yes, maybe for a start, I can say that mega farms are doing that initiative. Maybe if we are going to take it further, it's going to help us. We are talking of scalability.
Yes.
We have that concept. Government has come up with some policies to help those who want to invest in mega farms.
Okay.
But how many people have embraced that idea?
All right.
Right, see? You have many Malawians, they will rather see their bank accounts looking so fat, but they can't take that money and invest it. That's another thing that is not helping us to move forward. We don't have risk takers in terms of investment. We have people who have ideas, but they're not ready to take any risk because we are afraid, what if this fails? I'll lose everything. That's another thing that is crippling the scalability of ideas and businesses.
Very interesting. Now, you've explained very beautiful concepts in terms of scalability, but I'm really interested in the very individual person. We want to take it down to the micro level. An entrepreneur today, what schemes are there that can maybe aid an entrepreneur who's starting afresh? Remember, we're not looking at this entrepreneur from the point of view whereby maybe he's working, he's got a source of capital, but we're saying, is there a way that today you don't have a formal structure of earning, but can you be able to access finance Are there ways, or are there policies, or are there people or initiatives out there that can help an entrepreneur today?
Yes, I can say that there are some schemes that are developing that can help an entrepreneur today to grow. I've seen some banks that have come up with some initiatives to help young entrepreneurs to grow. But the process is cumbersome. It's most of the time frustrating because banks don't want to take the risk to give the capital to someone who is not productive. But also, if we are to look at the nature of our economy, in terms of debt, banks prefer lending the money to government rather than to individuals. They want to minimize the risk. Government has a higher appetite of borrowing for consumption, not for investment. That much I believe, So the banks, they say, should we give the money to a young entrepreneur who we haven't seen him doing anything else? But slowly, I think some of the banks are picking it up to say that, okay, we have young people, they are bringing in their ideas, let's assist them to move forward. Even though the concept hasn't been embraced by many, and also the requirements are sometimes prohibitive for a young entrepreneur to go and get to that.
Very interesting. Since we are drawing lessons from you today, I also want to draw another lesson. You've probably changed incomes over the years. I just want perhaps to get an inspiration to say, how have you found income over the years? Should we say it's a linear thing that once income starts growing, it will grow forever? What has been your experience over the years as a young economist and then now being renowned?
I think there's income is supposed to be a linear thing.
Okay.
It needs to be growing time and again. The challenge is income growth should be linked to output growth. Okay. As the income is growing, we also need to see the productivity of the economy growing. Because if the two don't move together, then you have problems.
So individually,
it means individually income has to grow.
For an individual, I want to draw it from this perspective to say, okay, for you to receive a lot of money, it means you are putting in a lot of effort for you to be paid so much money. I want to draw that lesson from there.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'll link it with the point that I was saying that it has to be matched with productivity. Right? As your income is growing, you also need to be more productive. If you want to see your income growing, you need to be more productive. Right? If you do that, you end up seeing your income growing. If income is growing without touching any productivity, it creates some problems.
Okay. Yeah. From that point, a young economist or a young man coming up in today's society, what advice would you give him today?
Thank you very much. Number one is patience. Right? Sometimes we need to exercise some patience to learn a lot before we want to earn it. Right? Our income, the young man's income, should be tied to the soft skills that the person. We are living in a competitive world. We have seen a lot of people graduating from university. Right? A young man should strive to be different from what everyone is. You can go to school, you can come out with your paper, an economics paper, right? But you need to be different. What value are you adding to the society? What value are you adding to the community? Right? By doing that, even the society or the community will reciprocate. Right? They will recognize you that we have this individual is delivering this different from any other person. Right? Doing that, you have the recognition and resources will follow. Not chasing resources first and so that recognition will come. No, but chase recognition first, then the resources will come.
Thank you very much for this amazing time. I really appreciate that you took a glimpse of your time to grace this occasion. I am usually reminded of this phrase to say, when a student is ready, his teacher will appear. And usually I am happy and proud that I always have you to look up to, and you've been a light through the way.
Thank you very much. You are an inspiration. And to meet you again today, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Mad Economist, this has been our podcast today. But before I close this podcast, I would like to thank the team that put up this event to come out. Thank you very much for your dedication. Thank you very much for your time. I really, really appreciate. Signing out from Audio 9 Studios in Blantyre. You are with me, Kumbolane George Chavula, and my guest,
Gilbert Kachamba.
Thank you. So you do love me anymore. They wanna know